Making disciples, that's the next one, which of course we've been all over because how can you get away from it? We talked about the primary purpose is not fellowship, but it's discipleship. Go and make disciples. Matthew 28. That is the commission. And it is what we're going to do here. I mean, how could we not? How could we leave it? We talked about what, 20% is your takeaway from a Sunday morning? Right? Most people, they forget the 80% of what's getting laid down. Right? The intent, again, of this pathway and of these specific groups is to be able to improve upon that. If God's commanded us to go make disciples, I don't want to come in with a D grade. I'd like to have an A. Right? I think you'd like to have a grade or an A as well. When people think of discipleship, I'm going to speak to the structure of this just a little bit. Oftentimes you're like, I don't need another class. Because you immediately think of discipleship in terms of a talking head, and a body of people that are listening to the talking head. And maybe you're taking some notes better than you do when I speak. I want to submit to you, while that is a method of discipleship, it is not the method that's employed in these groups. That's not the design. The design of these groups is to pull everybody in, for everybody to have a voice, for everybody to begin to step into their gifts, for everybody to be challenged, for everybody to get their questions answered, right? There's the give and take, and usually there will always be some kind of discussion, and there will be leaders obviously assigned to the group to keep the thing on the tracks, right? Because there's some wonky theology out there, right? And we want to make sure that our leaders are placing some guardrails. When somebody was like, so about aliens in the sky and we're going to inherit a planet someday, our leader can kind of go, hey, probably not a great direction. Let's talk about that after class. And no, you can't talk anymore. Right? Right? Yeah, why not? And that's why you're not leading a group, Samantha. No, I'm teasing you. They will always be there to guide the discussion, to lead it back to the scriptures, to lead it back to Christ. But it is an opportunity for everybody to discuss and come to this place of truth, to rally around the truth, to get your questions answered. It's not the lecture style discipleship process. That's not the design, of these groups. And I would say this, there's an extension of discipleship that starts to happen when the groups come into maturity and you all start liking each other. And the extension of it is this, it's like you have the group and that's the official thing that the church is doing, but when that's going well, then you're like, hey, Tim, you want to grab coffee this week? You're like, why? Because I like you. I want to hang out with you outside the context of church, right? Or even maybe somebody in the group has a question, you know what I mean? And Chris isn't the leader, but Chris is like, I got this. Like, hey, you want to have coffee? I'm happy to. And what happens is organic discipleship. So now without the structure that's there, the structure actually is intended to awaken you to community. And in genuine community, you sit down. I'm just using the coffee example. You sit down with coffee with friends and with people and you talk about stuff. And when the person's like, hey, I'm not really sure what to do about this, you get to talk through that together. You don't know the answers, you either find them or come talk to us. And we don't know them, so we'll go find them, right? But there's a chain of help and people, there's a community that are around you. But organic discipleship begins to happen when you meet just for fun. Like, hey, how about you come over to the house? We're going to catch a movie, Benson family movie night. Come catch a movie with us. And conversations happen and discipleship happens organically in those contexts and questions come up. And, I've had people, like neighbors, come into my house before as a way of example. And they'll walk through and they're like, there's such peace here. And so people, I'm saying that as an example, will get to walk into your home and they get to experience you and the depth of your relationship with the Lord in a way that they would never get to on a Sunday morning. And it happens organically. And again, it's an extension of discipleship happening.